This was the encapsulation of the night. Rizzo, Judge, and DJ banging back bruised at the Rangers game. The Rangers winning, and then the Mets doing something they have not done since 1997. That was the wildest, wackiest, sickest, most improbable, amazing win that I think I've ever seen in my life.
No, you're right, BT. And
It's just crazy.
For a second there, I thought you were talking about my picks, which I got another one right
Well,
with
listen,
the Rangers. But still,
we expect. I'm saying we expect that.
True.
That's not breaking
Great
news.
point.
That's
great point.
That's fourth
The
on the bullet
Rangers were
points.
amazing. We'll get to them a little bit later, BT. But the Mets, I mean, this is what you get when you have a Skip who instills a sense of, even if we're going to lose fighting. Because that's what this felt like as it was coming down in the ninth inning. You see Starling Marte, who, I mean, I asked BT before the show started, how the hell did Pittsburgh let him go at 30 years old? But we know that there was a PED suspension for 80 games, and the money probably got big, and Pittsburgh doesn't spend money, and he bounces. But whether or not you believe Stevie Cohen overpaid for him at 74-ish or so million over 4 years, he's proving that he deserves every penny because he slap hits a low sinker up to the shortstop, which is an out. It's an out. In any other environment, any other game, any other player, it's an out. But the Mets, because they have this mindset that we're fighting to the last out, Starling Marte on a bouncer to short beats it out.
He busted tail.
Busted his ass to get down to first base. And I'm watching it like, man, these dudes don't quit. And then Lindor gets up and he smashes a home run. But still, you're saying to yourself,
maybe Lindor's going to find a stroke here. All right, Yanks will come. Mets will come back tomorrow, get a win.
Even still, you're not saying, they're coming back.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It was just like, let's get Lindor going.
That's right. But those guys just fight. They just fight. And once the momentum started to roll, and then once you see, the Phillies, Girardi coming out saying, man, I got to go to a mound visit.
I got to get my closer up here.
I got to slow this down. We got to get our closer up in the bullpen. Go to the mound visit again.
That's right.
You got to slow this thing down. You felt like this energy start to take over, and it almost became a foregone conclusion, right? Once the hits started to happen and the runs started to pile in, you just kind of knew the Mets were going to win this game because this is the grindiness that they've built all season long, right? They're not great. Right, we talk about that Carrasco start. When was it, like two starts ago, where he got banged around in the first inning, and then he hangs on for 6 more. Right, that's the grindiness that this Mets team has, and you're going to win games like this more than you'll lose them if you have that belief. That's Buck Showalter, 100%.
That's a good summation. You talk about, but that's just like the energy and the stuff that you associate with a team that plays hard. But then there were actual tangible moves like pinch hitting J.D. Davis. That worked out. Obviously, knowing when to run with Jankowski, that worked out. The crazy thing is, so I get in my car at around 7:10. I had a rare night, so I go hit some golf balls. Right, I get in the car, I put on the fan, and I hear McPherson doing a show, and he's like, I think he hadn't seen the score yet because the Phillies scored 4 right away.
Yeah,
and he's
Walker
like,
had a bad outing.
Right? Oh yeah, right away. So he's basically starting the show, and as he's doing the monologue, getting things set up, I guess that's when the Phillies dropped the 4 spot. And he's like, Mets are still going to win this game. Right?
Really?
Yeah. I didn't think they were going to win. And then they wind up tacking a few more. What is it, 6-0, 7-0? 7-0 after the bottom of the 4th, right? So I go home like pretty much everybody, and I'm watching the Rangers. And I'm watching the Rangers post-game show on MSG because I really wanted to hear Lundqvist talk about the hit on Shesterkin when he came out of the pipes, which was clearly filthy.
Yes.
Absolutely a dirty hit, no doubt about it. And then I flip back to SNY, and I hear and the Mets win. And I'm thinking it's like a replay from a game that kind of escaped my memory. Like, I guess the game was over, and I forgot about the Mets. But I DVR every game. Then I start watching. I'm like, they won. Wait a second. They won the game? That tonight's game? They came back and won this game? It is May 6th, and the Mets already have a no-hitter and already have the biggest franchise comeback since 1997. They went 330 straight losses when trailing by 6+ entering the 9th, and they won this game, which is ridiculous. Now, because many of you were probably watching hockey or just didn't catch it in real time, I want you. We have every cut. The meaningful one. We never do this, but I want to take you. I want to hear it because I have not heard the radio stuff.
That's right.
Because I was watching SNY. All right, let's start, Dove. All right, maybe Lindor can get a hit and kind of find a stroke here. Lindor going yard.
First pitch, swinging a high fly ball, well hit to right field. Forget it. This ball is long gone. Home run, Francisco Lindor. Well, that takes care of that 0 for 18 in rather prodigious fashion.
All right, so Howie's thinking, all right, I'll be out of here in a couple of minutes. I mean, it's, maybe this portends good things for the next couple of games for Lindor. It's 7-3, Mets are down a 4 spot at this point. But then the wheels keep moving. Canna with an infield single. Little luck here, the way it, bounced around. And here comes Alonso. Mets chipping away here as well.
The 0-1, swinging a ground ball up the middle, off of Knebel. It runs towards the third base line. Knebel picks it up, throws to first, too late. A run scores. Canna is safe. McNeil to second. 7-4 Philadelphia. And Dom Smith is going to come to the plate, representing the tying run here in the 9th inning.
Yeah, Dom Smith did not have a good at bat. Dom
No.
Smith is not in these highlights. That was, by the way, a filthy curveball. He was clearly thinking fastball, but Dom Smith did whiff. And then here comes J.D. Davis against the Phillies closer. And that is a tough thing to do. You sit there for a couple of hours, and then you handle a rip job to left field. Here come the Mets.
Fastball line towards third. Fair ball, base hit going into the left field corner. In to score is McNeil. Canna will be held at third, going to second, stopping there with a double and a run batted in. A pinch hit double is J.D. Davis. It is now 7-5 Philadelphia.
All right, it's way beyond interesting at this point. Now you get to Nimmo. The first pitch of this bat, if I recall, was a filthy curve that he took for a strike. And now you get Jankowski on the bases, Buck using that very deep bench that the Mets have. And here's Nimmo doing his business with a bullet to center field.
Breaking ball, that's looped to center field. Base hit, the Mets might tie it. In to score is Canna. Here comes Jankowski. The throw to the plate hits the mound and bounds harmlessly to the catcher, Real Muto, as Jankowski scores. On at first with a 2-run single is Brandon Nimmo. The Mets have a 6-run 9th inning. They have come back to tie it.
And at this point, you just knew the Phillies were not walking away from this game with a win. And Marte, I thought this ball was gone. I think everybody thought that this ball was gone. It hit the base of the wall. Let's get a 2-bagger. Nimmo around. Mets somehow take the lead.
Well, here is Marte now. Nimmo, good lead at first. The pitch, swinging a high fly ball, left center field, pretty deep. It's got some legs back near the wall. It's in for a hit. Mets are going to take the lead. Nimmo around third, coming home. He scores standing. Double for Marte. 8-7 New York.
All right, so now you got the lead, and now you go to the pen, and Edwin Diaz, this is starting to look more and more like the dude who was in Seattle.
0-2 to Hoskins. Diaz sets. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Got him with a slider. Put it in the books. The New York Mets, with one of their most memorable comebacks in franchise history, score 7 runs in the 9th inning to come from behind to beat the Phillies in a game they once trailed 7-0.
All right, so that's how it all sounded. Howie Rose, superb, sublime stuff. Say what Gary Cohen on SNY. That was on 880. Our sister station. Listen, it's going to pour all weekend. So if we were doing this tomorrow, you couldn't do it. It's ominous looking, but it's not really raining. So here's what I want you to do, Met fans. You always tweet me, all right? When are you going to talk about the Mets?
We always talk about the
I know
Mets.
we do. Why do you keep talking about Judge's contract? Screw Aaron Boone. I don't care about the Jet. Lower your windows right now. Lower the windows, okay? And Dove, you know what time it is. Crank it up, buddy. It's starting to feel like 86. Hey, get out the gold chains and the Capizios and the cocaine. And the high hairstyles for the girls.
I love that you always play this song.
Make it louder, Dove. Crank it up, baby. Let's go. Well, let's go.
Let's go.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go.
A little teamwork to make the dream work.
Teamwork to make the dream work. Let's go. Let's go. We're gonna make it this time. We're gonna take it home. Let's go. Let's go. Do it. Let's go. Do it. Let's go. Make it happen. Let's go.
Where there's a Mets man, you'll find a Mets fan.
If I didn't know any better, BT.
I know you say it every time.
I don't think you're a Mets fan.
And I tell you that my dad played this record every day when I was a kid.
But there's an energy that
I
you
enjoyed
have.
the beat of the song.
Oh,
What do you want me to say, dude?
It's easily rememberable.
Yes, it is.
It's easily singable.
All right, so there it is. Now, listen, I don't know what this season is ultimately going to, present the Met fan, but we do know they are really good.
Yep.
We do know they have an incredible internal conviction to win. We know they're incredibly well managed. We know they've got an owner with the deepest pockets in the sport. They've got spirit. They've got talent. And right now, the Mets win last night. Boy, you got to be flying
I
right
agree.
now.
BT, I have one question for Hoff. The question that everybody keeps bringing up about the Mets is the bullpen. Can we get over the Edwin Diaz bullpen issue already? Can we do it yet?
I think we're officially past. I think we're good.
You have to be past it right now. Three pitches, 3 strikes to strike out Rhys Hoskins in this game. It's exactly what you want from him when you got him from Seattle. And now he's back to that player? Stop wishing or saying.
But it's not him. There's other components of the bullpen. Diaz is fine.
I understand that.
Okay.
But Diaz was one of the big issues for the Mets for
That's
the
fair.
last year. And that's at the end of the day, it comes down to the closer. I know what bullpen's about, a bevy of arms. But when your closer has issues, that's when you're like the Phillies, by the way.
Oh, jeez.
Right?
Girardi's got to be miserable with that team.
Yeah.
That team's going nowhere.
Yeah, they
They're
don't
scrubs.
Well, they're not scrubs.
but they don't play good defense, and they don't come up in the clutch.
They really don't. I mean, I don't know how many baseball games I've watched in my life. I got very lucky. It was serendipitous with the timing. Again, I'm watching the Rangers post-game show. I just needed to hear Lundqvist on that hit with Shesterkin and other stuff as well. With Gino, and I forget the other dude's name, who was I don't know, the minor league goal, whatever his name is, next to the King. But it was just perfect timing. I don't even really know what compelled me to go back to SNY because I checked, because we talked about Lindor yesterday with Howard Reynolds.
Yeah.
And he was 0 for 3 before the home run. 0 for 18 is how we chronicled as only how we can in those calls, right? Howie was great there. He sounded really good. I thought he was money, as always. And I'm like, yeah. You want the honesty? I'm gonna be totally honest with you. And I'm not saying I was rooting for it to happen.
Yeah.
I was one more Lindor out away from sending a little tweet ski. Like, I don't know, Met fans, he's below 230. We getting worried yet? Thank God I didn't overreact, that I showed some restraint. And by the way, he crushed that ball.
Is it still sitting in your draft?
No, I didn't get that far. No, I'm learning. Let things develop before you actually tweet, so you don't get burned like you usually do. And when I went back, I just it's the final screenshot, like runs, hits, and errors. I could not believe that they won the game, and then I just hit rewound. And I even watched the SNY version this morning in my office, where they cut out all the nonsense. It's the sped up version, which is really the best way to watch it. And it was just improbable. There were a couple of plays down the third base line that, if the third baseman was positioned differently, could have been snagged. Candace hit up the middle, could have gone a different way. Marte beating out that ball at first base that you mentioned on the ground ball, the shortstop. That enabled a couple of runs on the board with Lindor's home run. Yeah, listen, you could live for 50 more years. You might not see this. That's the bottom line.
No, you're right.
You really might not see
fans
this.
are thrilled right now. I asked Hoff, before the show started, I was like, give me a counterpoint. Give me something that I can potentially go against. He's like, not today.
Not today. You're right.
Not
well,
today.
there is one counterpoint. Yankees are still better, but we're not gonna.
Come on, BT.
We're not gonna.
Dude,
We're
stop
not-
it. That's
we're
not today, bro.
We're not
You
gonna
just ruined it for Mets
do
fans.
that
You just
today.
did. Hey, Mets, that was BT. That wasn't me.
I don't think we'll do that today. Richie's in Franklin Square on the Fan. What's up, Rich?
Hey, just loving, like you guys said, loving the energy, loving Buck. Simple thing like Jankowski running from second. Like, Rojas might not even have put anybody in to run, figuring, we're not going to win, whatever. I mean, he's pushing all the right buttons, and the energy is incredible. It really is. Loving every minute of it.
Well, what makes this Mets team, I think, obviously they're interesting because of the offseason work that they have done. But more importantly, right, there's a belief, right? There's just a feeling. You get some static there.
Yeah, I got to let you go there, Rich.
But there's just a belief that just permeates throughout the clubhouse. You see them celebrating with each other.
Yes.
It's like they're all into it. Nobody's sitting back, just kind of chilling. Everybody's like there's an energy that everybody has, which is rare.
Marte projects real, palpable outward energy.
Yep.
Alonso does. Lindor has that.
Mm-hmm.
They've got a lot of energy. That's and you need that over the course of 162. You know, hey Hoff, how much does a win like last night just bring you even deeper into the end of the pool of possibilities?
Oh, my head is spinning right now. Like there's rings that I'm already making up in my head.
Yeah.
It's not a good.
Well,
that's not
what,
the
those
best
pennant
feeling.
rings? That's you
The
guys
Excuse
usually
me,
get?
World Series.
No, you're not getting a World Series. You're not beating the Yankees.
The only downside was Walker. That's the only downside.
And that was a pretty big one. I agree.
Right?
Yeah.
But
It was horrible.
It was horrible, but the fact that they overcame it, I guess, mitigates it in a sense.
Yep.
But now you'll think about his next start.
For sure.
Now you'll say, well, what happens next? How does he rebound? Or does this start something that's going to be detrimental for the rest of the season? That's the only negative, but it's not something to talk about right now.
I don't know the answer to this, but every time I play that Mets song, I wonder how many like young Met fans don't even know that song.
Have never heard it, yeah.
Do they play that at City? I didn't hear it the other night when I was there. I mean, I don't think I've ever heard it played at City.
No, I don't. I haven't heard that. Not at City, no. Not
But
yet.
did you know that song before I played it?
Of
Honestly.
course.
Now, don't lie, dude.
What are you talking about?
All right, I'm just checking.
I've.
All right, don't get
You
defensive.
talking to me? I'm like Mr. Met Jr. here.
Yeah, but you're young, so I don't assume
I'm not
that you
that
were
young. I
Well,
mean,
it's
Yeah,
true.
he isn't that
Well,
young.
how old were you in '86?
I was 4.
Exactly.
But I've watched every single documentary in the world about the '86 team.
I
When did they
gotcha.
stop playing it, though? That's the question.
I don't know. I mean, I know that the video dropped during the summer of '86. That was when they shot it with Joe Pescopo with Shea. But I don't assume if you're a 22-year-old Met fan that you know every word to that song.
But
I don't know.
Hoff's not 22.
No,
so.
but I understand that. Sometimes he acts like he's 22, which is not a bad thing. We like that. 877-337-6666. All right, Met fans, when are you going to lead with the Mets? When are you going to talk about the Mets? Today's your day. It's also the Rangers' day. Tiki and Tierney on the Fan till 2.